Greetings. Welcome to another edition of Hawk Talk. I'm Al Moyer, the district superintendent, and my co-host.
Joel Ham, the high school principal. Thanks for joining us.
Today we have two special guests with us, Corey Robinson and Mike Terwilliger. They are deans of students, and as you're probably aware by now, we had a major realignment of our leadership here, our leadership team here in the district, mainly for two purposes. We wanted to move people in roles that really fit their skills and their aptitude and abilities, as well as, like many other districts across the state of Pennsylvania, we're looking at doing a number of strategies in relationship to cost savings and balancing our budget. Mike and Corey have taken on the roles of Dean of Students at our middle school and our high school.
So maybe if you guys wouldn't mind, start by introducing yourselves and telling us a little bit about your educational background. Mike, would you mind?
Okay. Okay. I'm Corey Robinson. I taught math in Baltimore County for 10 years. I have my Master's of Education in Curriculum and Instruction from Loyola University, and I'm currently going to York College for my principalship.
Thank you.
I'm Mike Terwilliger, as we said, Dean of Students at the middle school. I taught for 6 years in York City School District, and went to York College for both my undergrad and graduate level, and just actually received my certificate yesterday. Got to print it out, so took them long enough, but I finally got it. So.
Mike, Corey, if you would, Dean of Students, that's a little bit different title than what's most districts are used to, and in the past here for Hanover, they've been typically aware of the assistant principal role. Tell us a little bit about your roles and responsibilities, or maybe a little bit about a typical day as a Dean of Student at the high school and at the middle school, if you would.
Sure. Dean of Students is a lot like an assistant principal. We have most of the same duties as an assistant principal. The only difference is we do not evaluate teachers. We are here mainly for the students. Typical day, I usually come in and obviously get my mail out of my mailbox, which consists of a lot of referrals for discipline. So I do handle the discipline, I handle the attendance. So I sign the papers when students are having planned absences, things like that. Generally start calling kids down right away in the morning and trying to figure out what's going on and, handing out the discipline, which is probably the least favorite part of the day, especially when you talk to the kids and realize the reason maybe why they did what they did. And then kind of go from there. Obviously we eat because Joel and I like to eat. And then after that, just usually finish up. We have a lot of meetings, so that usually interferes with some of the other things that we do. But yeah, it's a great job. It's definitely different than teaching, but it's a whole different ballgame that's pretty interesting so far.
And how is that different in the middle school?
In the middle school, I'd say that kids are smaller. They definitely are a little bit more goofy, which I like because I'm a bit goofy with them. And I would say definitely that discipline is the major aspect of the position, but the good parts about it is you get to know a lot more kids than you would if you were just a teacher with just your 25 or 30 students. You get to know span the grades, which I really like that part about it. You get to meet 5th graders and 8th graders. You get to all the way through. I like it a lot.
Well, coming from York City and from Kenwood, how would you compare the students here at Hanover to maybe some of the districts where you guys were before?
I would say, like any district, it's really relative. Every district has maybe some discipline issues, and it just goes along with that. I would say here, the kids are very welcoming to myself. I don't know about the high school, but I think the kids have been great with that, and they don't see you as someone who's out to get them. They see you as somebody who's there to help them.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
Yeah, and the gamut of kids that I've dealt with in the last 10 years are a totally different beast of what I deal with now. Not beast in like a monster way, but I love Hanover kids. I mean, it kind of is strange sometimes because we don't sometimes get to meet kids on a great note, but getting out there and walking the halls and trying to go to a lot of activities gets you to meet kids that you wouldn't generally meet because they're not coming into your office for discipline reasons. But Hanover kids are great. We like them.
Well, Corey, Mike, you've said a number of things there, and I personally know, and I think Mr. Hain would also attest that you all do a lot more than just discipline at the school. Class coverages, and we could go on to a lot of other issues that you're involved with. So you're being pretty humble about that. But looking at your typical day over the last couple of months that you've been Nighthawks, what would you say would be some of the best parts of your job that you enjoy? And then also on the other side, what are some of the most challenging things about your job?
I think some of the best parts about it have to come from, just like I said, the welcoming of the kids, and I say the staff is very welcoming as well. With the Dean of Students position kind of being a position that not everyone is exactly sure what the role is, that the teachers and faculty have just been really, helpful. They want to help me figure out what's going on in the building, and some of the things that you don't get in a job description, just the things that go on throughout the day. And I think Eileen and Wendy in the office specifically have helped myself, and I know Mark adjust, because Mark came up from the elementary, so to adjust to the middle school, and just some of those unwritten things that go on, that's definitely the best part. If you don't, I'll go through the not so best part. Is just when you see a student who might be having an issue, and you want to try to work with them, and you think you might gain some momentum, and then they take a little step back, and that step back, it hurts sometimes, but you really have to think to yourself, you know what, I'm going to keep it going and get them to take 2 more steps forward. Even if they take a step back, 2 more steps forward, and continue to motivate them to do better.
One of the things that I have really liked doing so far in this job is, and this is actually kind of nerdy, but we just met to rewrite curriculum for math, and that related to us meeting and doing a lot of things for CDT testing, and that's one of the things I'm really interested in due to my master's is the curriculum part of it. So that was a really nice thing to be a part of. I've written curriculum several times for Baltimore County, but this was really a different look at it, mostly because I'm new to Pennsylvania and things are different here than they were there. And what Mike said about, with the watching a kid take a step back, that is a really yucky part. Some of the things, when you talk to a kid and you hear their home life, and here you are trying to talk to them about having a detention for saying an inappropriate word or something like that, and they're telling you that they don't have anywhere to live and no one's there to feed them. It hurts your heart, and it makes this job a more human job than it has been.
Well, one of the things that I can say from my observations, and I know I speak for Mr. Hain when I say that we appreciate about the two of you, is that you really seem to value and appreciate relationships, and you highly value your relationships with the kids. And when kids do need to see you for things where there's been behavioral challenges and things like that, you all do your best, from my perception, to learn a little bit about them, develop a relationship, find out a little bit about their home life, communicate with parents really well, and I think when you do that, the chances of having a lot of repeat offenders, because you're really looking into the root causes, not just what manifested itself that day, but the root causes, and I think that's going to really pay big dividends for you and make you very successful. And I also know I speak for Mr. Hain when I say we feel both of you are off to a fantastic start. We appreciate all the efforts that you've put in thus far, and we expect even bigger and better things from you in the future. Mr. Hain, did I miss anything?
You didn't. I just want to thank you both for being on the show, and we look forward to great things to come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes this edition of Hawk Talk.
Thanks for watching.